Hello everyone, welcome back to one more video session. In this session, we are going to talk about the three different types of RNAs, that is mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. In my previous video session, when I was discussing about transcription in prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes, I told that the different types of RNAs are very important for the synthesis of protein. So they play an important role in transcription as well as translation. In the case of prokaryotes, the transcription occurs within the cytoplasm. At the same time, the translation also occurs within the cytoplasm. Transcription and translation occur simultaneously within the cytoplasm of the prokaryotic cell, that is bacteria. Whereas in the case of eukaryotes, transcription occurs within the nucleus. Once the transcription has taken place, that is done, the mRNA, which is not mature enough for the translation process or for the synthesis of protein, it has to undergo certain modification. The modification occurs within the nucleus before it goes out of the nucleus, correct? So the modification is nothing but called as splicing, where we are removing the non-express sequences, that is called as introns. Introns will be removed. For example, if you take the mRNA of the eukaryotic cell, so this is actually mRNA. You know that mRNA has got some interrupted sequences. The template strand which is now copied to the mRNA has got some interrupted sequences. They are exons, introns, exons, introns, exons, introns, correct? So exons and introns will obviously contain the unpaired bases, that is, you know that the ribonucleotides will be there, that is throughout the strand of the mRNA. So exons are required. We need to retain the exons. We need to eliminate or remove the introns. If you look into the mRNA of the eukaryotes, for example, see this. This is a eukaryotic mRNA. What you are seeing is the white color one is the exon, that is expressed sequences, whereas this orange color ones are introns, that is non-expressed sequences. So here we need to remove these introns. You may get one more question that if the total number of exons are 5 in one mRNA of eukaryotic cell or eukaryote, what is the total number of introns? Very simple, it is actually 4. If 5 exons are there, then the intron number should be 4. Okay, so that is actually the thing, 1 less. Okay, so you have to remember it. See here, if white color patches are exons, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have got 4 exons. How many introns are there? 1, 2, 3. 3 introns will be there. So removal of introns from the heterogeneous mRNA is called as, or heterogeneous nuclear mRNA is called as splicing. This is actually post-transcriptional modification. Hope you understood that. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, so now in this session I'm going to talk about mRNA, then tRNA, then rRNA, like that. Okay, so first we will concentrate on the mRNA. mRNA, if you consider the 3 different types of RNA, in the case of prokaryotes only 3 RNAs will be there, that is M, T, R. Whereas in the case of eukaryotes, you will see many different types of RNAs, including mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. You see so many different types of RNAs. They are very important. Why they are important? Why we have different types of RNAs in our body? The thing is, our body organization is complex compared to prokaryotic body organization. Remember this point. Now, I have written the important points here. The only thing is to reduce the duration of this video session. It provides the template. Obviously, we know that it copies the message or information from the template strand of the DNA, and then this information which is now on the mRNA will be used to synthesize the proteins, correct? So in the ribosome, 5% of the RNA, if you look into the total number of RNAs, whether it is in the case of prokaryotes or eukaryotes, you know that there are 3 major types. Out of these 3 major types, the mRNA makes up only 5% of the total RNAs. Just remember it. Okay, so it is the longest RNA. If you compare this mRNA with rRNA or tRNA, it is the longest, correct? So we could say it is the longest. So the length of the RNA or mRNA can be measured based on the total number of unpaired bases present on this mRNA. Unpaired bases, that is ribonucleotides. Okay, so we have done with the 2 points now. 3 points done. Okay, most variable RNA. Yes, it is the most variable RNA. It is not constant. If you look into rRNA or maybe tRNA, whatever the ribonucleotides they have, it is constant. It is compulsorily constant. Now, why it is most variable? Because whatever the mRNA which is now synthesized, that is from the template DNA. We don't know what is the sequence present on a particular template DNA. So, based on the information, the mRNA produced will have that particular complementary ribonucleotide. So, that means let us imagine the length of the DNA, correct? So, you know that throughout the length you see the nitrogenous base pairs, particularly on the template strand, whatever the information which is now copied to synthesize this mRNA is from that template strand itself. Whatever the basis which is present within the template strand will be copied to mRNA. So it differs, correct? So it differs on what template strand it is synthesized. So that is actually the thing. Got it? Okay. So it is most variable. Abnormal bases are absent. Yes, because it is synthesized from template DNA strand. So there is no abnormal bases or ribonucleotides. Whereas in the case of tRNA, you will see some abnormal bases. We'll talk about it later. Okay, so fine. H bonds are absent. Why H bonds are absent? Hydrogen bonds are completely absent because mRNA is single stranded RNA, correct? So there is no H bonds, there is no necessary of having H bonds, correct? It is unpaired basis, correct? Okay. Has codons. Okay, so what is this codon? Okay, you are hearing it for the first time, right? Codons are very important. Now, whatever the mRNA which is synthesized, see, this is the prokaryotic mRNA and this is the eukaryotic mRNA. You could see the difference between the mRNA, but you know what the difference is also right now. Okay, so here this prokaryotic mRNA has certain sequences. Forget about this. Okay, so forget about AGG, and forget about this ACC, AUGG. This is different, but still present on the mRNA. From here on, AUG and whatever it is, ribonucleotides which are present from here on, AUG and whatever the nucleotides which is ribonucleotides which is present on the mRNA. So from here on, you have to consider only 3 unpaired bases or 3 ribonucleotides. That's what I have written. Group of 3 nitrogenous bases. Group of 3 nitrogenous bases. AUG. Group of 3 nitrogenous bases. Again, you see something like GUG, something like that. Okay, like throughout you could see that. So now you have to consider only 3 nitrogenous bases. 3. So each group of 3 nitrogenous bases are called as the codons. So what is this? What is the function of this codon? During translation process, a tRNA, there is a tRNA. Let us say this is the tRNA. Each tRNA will bring a specific amino acid. A specific amino acid is which is already bound to the tRNA, and tRNA has got anticodons. See, codons, anticodons. What is anticodon? It has got a complementary basis, that is also unpaired basis. This complementary unpaired basis is going to detect a complementary unpaired basis which is now present on the mRNA or codon. So anticodons will now bind to the codons of the mRNA. As a result, one amino acid is now synthesized. Got it? So this is the thing. So codons play an important role in recognizing a specific type of tRNA or specific type of amino acid carrying tRNA. Got it? So another tRNA will be there for this codon. Another tRNA is there for another type of unpaired base pairs, like that. So remember it. So it is based on how many codons are present. Let us imagine that there are, let us say 21 codons are present. Say 21 codons are present. Okay. So how many tRNA is going to bind? 21 itself. Correct. So now the question, let us just change the question. There are 21 unpaired bases are present on mRNA from here, AUG till whatever, okay, 21. And out of 21, how many are codons? Like out of 21 base pairs are there, like unpaired bases are there. In that, how many are, like how many codons are present? 7. That's it. Okay, so that's the thing. Because group of 3 nitrogenous bases will make a codon. Okay, codon has a specific function in recognizing a specific tRNA which has got a specific anticodon. Again, anticodon also same thing, 3 nitrogenous bases. Got it? Okay. Now, If you take prokaryotic or eukaryotic mRNA, it has got a specific codons called as sense codons and non-sense codons. If you take codons, again specific codons will be there. At the same time, that is non-sense codons will be there. Specific codons also called as sense codons. Non-sense codons also called as stop codons. So we'll write it. Stop codons. Okay, sense codons. Sense codons means it should start from here. AUG. Remember it. AUG is the first sense codon. So we write it. You get this question. Name the initiator codon in translation process in prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes. AUG is the initiator codon in prokaryotes as well as eukaryotic translation process. Remember it. AUG. So AUG. So without AUG, translation cannot take place. Please note this point. AUG is the initiator codon. Remember it. What is the other function of AUG? See here, I have already done this. Start codon. It is also called a start codon or initiator codon. In the case of prokaryotic cell, it will bring or it will help in the synthesis of formulated methionine. Formulated methionine, where it is already bound to a specific tRNA which will recognize AUG, and as a result, formulated methionine will be synthesized. Okay, what is this formulated methionine? Methionine is a type of amino acid where you see a specific formyl group is added. In the case of eukaryotes, same, the AUG is present, that is common to all type of mRNA. Here what you see is a only methionine amino acid is now will bind to AUG, or methionine amino acid which is now already bound to tRNA will bind to AUG. It is not formal added methionine, remember it? Okay, so this is the thing. So this is the difference. Okay, and now ribosomes are recognized, ribosomal recognition sequence is present. The last statement. Okay, so very important here. That is the major difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic mRNA. In this case, you could see this is the prokaryotic ribosomal subunits. So 30S, 50S. 30S is the smaller subunit, 50S is the larger subunit, makes it 70S type of ribosome in the case of prokaryotes. Okay. Whereas, if you look into the ribosome, all the ribosomes are made up of ribosomal RNA. Correct? Ribosomal RNA makes the ribosomes. Okay. Particularly, the 30S ribosomal subunit is mainly contains or made up of 16S rRNA. Note this point. In prokaryotics, ribosome, particularly smaller subunit, is mainly contains 16S ribosomal RNA. So remember this. So this ribosomal subunit, before translation, the first process is when the mRNA, whether it is which is present within the cytoplasm in case of prokaryotes, or whether it is going out of the nucleus in the case of eukaryotes, doesn't matter. The ribosome first should bind to a specific sequence which is present on the mRNA. So this sequence is present before the start codon in all the mRNAs, whether it is in eukaryotic mRNA, doesn't matter, or prokaryotic mRNA. Okay, mRNA. So AGG-AGGU, this is the specific sequence which is called as Shine-Dalgarno sequence. Please note this point, very important. Shine-Dalgarno sequence which has 7 unpaired bases that reads 5' to AGG-AGGU. Remember this? Okay, to 3', 5' to 3'. That is the reading strand of the mRNA, that is called as Shine-Dalgarno sequence, which helps in the recognition of smaller subunit, that is 30S ribosomal subunit of the prokaryote. Once this 30S ribosomal subunit binds, then it will attract the 50S subunit. Okay, so now the entire ribosome is formed within the mRNA. Now translation occurs. So now the two subunits like 50S and 30S will bind within this mRNA, and which will attract the tRNAs to the site. With the tRNA will bring the amino acid. So that is the sequence. That is actually the thing which happens in the prokaryotic mRNA. In the case of eukaryotic mRNA, see here the sequence. In the case of prokaryote, that is Shine-Dalgarno sequence, but in the case of eukaryotes, it is called as Kozak sequence, and the sequence is bit different. 5' ACC-AUG. Remember this, how many are there? 7 unpaired bases are there. That also present just before the start codon, AUG. Just before AUG. Remember it? So this is the thing. So here I have already mentioned it, like, yeah, before it goes to the ribosome or like out of the nucleus, it has to be undergo certain modification, that is splicing. You know what is splicing, everything. Okay, so that's it. So now let us imagine that everything is now removed. The introns are now removed, only exons are there. Okay, now it is ready to go out of the nucleus, and now 40S, you know the difference between ribosomes in prokaryotes and eukaryotic ribosome. 40S, 60S makes 80S type of ribosome in the case of eukaryote. First is smaller subunit which will recognize Kozak sequence, that is made up of 18S rRNA. 18S rRNA. Okay, so that's all about it. I hope you understood this. So please write down everything. Okay, AUG has dual function. You get this question for your board examination. So AUG, we all know that it is actually a start codon which initiates translation process in the ribosome. That's it. So it is initiation codon. It initiates translation. Other is it codes only for methionine amino acid. It will not code for any other amino acid. There are so many amino acids, but it will code only for methionine. So it is understood that if you look into any protein structure in a polypeptide chain, the first amino acid is always methionine. Got it? So remember, first amino acid is always methionine because AUG is the first codon or start codon which initiates translation process. Got it? Okay, so that's all about it. And I forgot here. Yes. Once that's like start codon, and there will be so many numerous codons will be there, and ultimately there is a specific codon which reads UAA, or it could be UAG, or it could be UGA. There are three codons. It could be anything. Okay, for example, here UAA is present. So whereas here in the stop codon UAG is present. Doesn't matter, which is also called as termination codon. Termination or stop codon, which now terminates translation process. So this is the site where your ribosome detaches. Got it? So you may get a question. Mention the stop codons or terminator codons. UAA, UAG, UGA. Mention start codon AUG. This is compulsory. Okay. So if it is not there, then obviously there is no termination for translation. But it will be there. So the termination should take place. Got it? So that's all about it. Hope you understood about mRNA. Please remember this. Now we will talk about, I think I'll make one more video session. So this is one video session that is all about mRNA. Hope you understood this.